Welcome to the Village. My name is Nabat. I'm a certified personal trainer and fitness coach from Toronto. I'll be leading you through a hip hinge clinic, and we're doing a lot of deadlifts today. We're going to work that back of that leg and that glute. Fun fact, squats are not the only thing that help you build that booty. We're going to work on that deadlift because that's important as well. You're welcome to join me in the workout. All right, we're gonna get started with our hip hinge clinic and our deadlift work. So the whole part of a hip hinge and a deadlift is really being able to move through your hip. So a lot of times when we go into a deadlift position, people just tend to bend over, and we don't really wanna do that because that puts strain on your low back. So we're gonna work on hinging at the hip. We're gonna start off with a front stop position, which is a baseball like term. We don't need to worry about that. Hands are going to be on your knees. You're going to send your hips back, stopping right at your knees. So your hands are going to stop at your knees. You're going to sit nice and tall, or you're going to stand nice and tall. Your spine is going to be nice and neutral, which means you're just going to look about 45 degrees in front of you. So you want to have a nice neutral position from the top of your head to your spine, really hinging at your hip. In this position, you should feel the lengthening behind your legs. So always when you're coming into that position, you're searching for the stretch in your hamstrings. So send your hips back and really leaning back into that until you feel that stretch. Your hands might pass your knees. That's totally okay. They can even hang in front of you. It's not a big deal. But really, you want to focus on really pushing that hip back, keeping that core braced to protect your low back in this position, and your spine nice and neutral. A lot of times what I'll see is people will tuck their chin into their chest and start to look down, or actually look up this way so your spine is not neutral. If you were to have a broomstick behind you, and it's directly behind you, you would have all points of contact in between your low back, your upper back, and the back of your head. So imagine you have a broomstick. If you have one, you can grab it and go into this, and you want to maintain contact between your low back, upper back, and your head. That will guarantee a neutral spine position. Another way to groove that pattern is to use a wall. So you can imagine there's a wall behind me. You're going to take about, so the wall's here, you take about a step forward, again, hinging that hip, and I want you to look for the wall with your bum. Really stick it out. I know it sounds kind of weird, but bear with me here. You want to stick your hips out as far as you can, finding that stretch, and once you've got it, that is your hinge position. Remember, you don't have to dump your chest forward so your back is neutral with your parallel with the ground. You can stay in this position and brace that core. That's your hip hinge clinic. We're going to go into some mobility to warm you up before we go into the workout. You're going to start off with a leg swing. If you want to hold on to the wall here, you can. I'm going to challenge myself and use my balance. You're going to swing your leg forward and really give yourself a good kick. We're just working on getting nice movement through the back of your legs. Just swinging. You can use your arms and drive that leg up. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Switch sides. Really center yourself on that foot if you're not holding on to something, and you want to swing that leg forward. Nice and straight as you can get it. Try to kick about hip height, and kicking up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to meet me on the ground. We're going to go in for another hamstring stretch. Just starting off with your left foot forward. You're going to start off in half kneeling warrior position. Extend yourself, your leg out forward, dropping your heel to the ground, and you're just going to sit back into your heel. You want to feel that stretch through your hamstrings, and we're dynamically stretching, which means we're stretching with movement. You never want a static stretch, which means holding the beginning of your workout. Your muscles are probably not warm enough for that. 3 more. Good. 2 and 1. You can feel free to touch at the bottom if the balance is not there for you today. All good. Good. Extending your right leg forward onto your heels. Your knee is nice and straight. Again, you're sitting back into your heel. You're not actually going to sit down. You're, again, looking for that stretch, coming as low as you possibly can. You're going to feel it in your calves, in your hamstrings. Good. 3 more. Breathing through it. 2 and 1. 1 more for your hips, just to loosen them up. We're doing a shin box opener. Heels, our feet are going to be hip width apart. Knees are going to be bent at 90 degrees. Hands are going to be behind your back, sitting nice and tall. I'll show you what that looks like from the side. So 90 degrees, nice and tall. Fingertips facing away from you. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop one knee down and dropping the other. Now, the goal here is to keep your sit bones on the ground. Your knee might not come all the way. That's okay. That just means you might be a little bit tighter on the internal rotation, as most of us are. Both sides might not be the same. If you notice, my left side can go a lot lower than my right side can today, and that's all good. Again, trying not to come out of your hip. You're not trying to pop out. You're trying to stay nice and low. Just getting this movement in your hips. Good. 1 more on each side. Good. And we're going into our workout next. All right, we're going into our deadlifts. So we're essentially just going to practice the movement that we did into our clinic. We're here for about 45 seconds to a minute. Feet are going to be right underneath your hips. We don't need to be wide. We're going to be nice and neutral, feet underneath your hips. Soft bend in the knee. It's a little bit more kind to your hamstrings. Hands on your legs, hinging at the hip, coming down, driving up, squeezing your glutes at the top. 3, 2, 1. Drive up, squeeze your bum. Reach down and up, squeeze your bum. It's 3, 2, 1, and up. You don't need any weights for this, but if you would like to add some weight, you're welcome to do that. You can grab a dumbbell, you can grab 2 dumbbells, and keep your hands right in front of your legs to add a little bit more of a challenge. But again, today, we're just looking for that stretch through the back of your legs. I promise you, you will feel this tomorrow, even if you're not using any weights. You don't need equipment, to be honest. Your body is your best tool when working out. Good, 10 more seconds here. Good, driving up, squeezing your bum at the top, hinging, looking for that stretch. If you feel any tension in your low back, make sure your core is nice and braced. Good, 1 more for good measure. Hinge, hinge, hinge. Drive up and squeeze your glute at the top. You're gonna meet me on the ground. We're doing a glute bridge. It's gonna really let you feel your hamstrings a little bit more. Feet are gonna come as close to your bum as possible. You're gonna brace your core. You're gonna tilt your pelvis back. So this is forward, this is back. You're closing that space between your low back and the ground. You can keep the back of your arms into the ground. You're gonna drive your heels coming up. Squeeze your bum, holding 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Again, tilt your pelvis back, drive up, hold for 3, 2, 1, and down. Mind you, when you're going in for this drive up, make sure your knees stay hip width apart the entire time. What tends to happen is we tend to keep our knees out, and then when we go down, we collapse them in. Try to avoid that. Keep your knees hip width apart, tilt your pelvis back, drive up, hold for 3, 2, 1, lower down. We got 1 more here, tilt your pelvis back. Drive your hips up. We're holding for 10, 9, squeeze your glutes, 7, 6, 5, 4, a little bit more, 3, 2, and 1, lower down. Come up. We're going into that deadlift again. Take your time coming up. Feet underneath your hips. Brace that core. That protects your low back. Remember that. Hands on your thighs. You're hinging. 3, 2, 1. Really stick that bum out. Feel the stretch to the back of that leg and drive. 3, 2, 1, and drive. 3, 2, 1, and drive. I want you to pay attention to your toes on this next one. If your toes are flying up, try to keep that big toe on the ground. That's going to make it a little bit harder. That small little bit of movement adds that extra bit of challenge, but that's what we like. Driving up, good. 3, 2, 1, good. You can do this without shoes. If you find that your toes are really wiggling, it helps your feet connect to the ground better if you're not wearing shoes. Hinging back, good. Drive up, squeeze your bum, good. Hinging back, really find that stretch. Up, we got 2 more, hinge. Good. Are we keeping our spine neutral? Are you looking up? Or are you looking at 45 degrees? Good. Shake that out. We're back onto the ground. Going in for that glute bridge. Good. Heels as close to your glutes as possible. Driving your forearms into the ground. That helps give you leverage. Bracing your core. Tilting your pelvis back. Driving up your hips. Squeezing your bum at the bottom. We hold for 3, 2, 1, and lower. Remember those knees? They stay in the same position. Don't let them fall in. You want to keep them apart the entire time. If you have a loop band or a booty band, you can use that for this move if you'd like. Otherwise, I would like you to condition yourself to be able to do it without the support of the band. But your choice. It's your workout today. Good. You're going to feel this firing up in your glutes and your hamstrings. Let's drive up. We're holding for 3, 2, 1. Think about pointing your hips up towards the sky. Last one, we hold up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Let it burn. 3, 2, 1. And slow to come down. Perfect. That was set 1 of your workout. Grab a sip of water, and we're going to move on to set 2. All right, we're going into set 2. We're doing a single leg touchdown. If you have a water bottle, this is a great tool for you today. As your marker, we're going to start off with your feet hip width apart. You want to actually start with the water bottle in between your feet. Good. You're going to take your left leg. You're going to step it back about 2 feet, 1.5 feet, whatever feels comfortable. You want to make sure your hips are pointed forward. We're going in for a touchdown, but the move starts in your hips because we're working on hip hinge today. So I want you to hinge back. You're going to reach down. You can use your water bottle as a marker. I'm going to use the ground, and then you're coming back up. You're hinging, finding that stretch in the back of that front leg, and driving up. Hinging. You're going to feel this a lot more than you felt the other deadlift because we're isolating on one side. Reaching and coming down. You don't have to touch the ground. You can just reach. If you have a yoga block, that's a perfect tool for you to use here. Or you can use your water bottle, whatever you like. Again, it's not about how low you go. It's about how much of a stretch you get in the back of that front leg. One more. And we're switching sides. Step in, step back. You can always narrow your stance here if you feel like stepping too far back is too much of a challenge. Okay, so keeping your core nice and braced to protect that low back. You're hinging, touching down, and coming up. Hinge, really find that stretch, and up. I want you to be connected with your body. Move with purpose, because then you'll get a far more effective workout. I don't want you just throwing around your body just for the sake of it. I want you to be really connected with what's going on. So really hinging that hip back, feel that stretch in the back of that leg, and coming up. You're doing amazing. Keep it up. Good. Really feeling that lengthening the back of that leg. 2 more. Good. Down and up. We're going to give our legs a quick break. We're going to go into a dead bug. You're going to lie on your back. Good. Bringing your knees up towards your hips or right above your hips, closing that space between your low back. Feet are nice and flexed. You're going to reach your fingertips above your head. Keep your elbows in. You're going to alternate sides. We're here for about 30 seconds. Good. To a minute. Alternating and extending. If your low back is lifting as you're extending that leg, I'd like you to either go 45 degrees or drop your heel to the ground. Make sure your elbows stay close to your temples. Good. Feet stay flexed. Good. Breathing through this. You're doing awesome. Good. We're here for about another 15 seconds. Slow and controlled. Feel this in your entire core. If you went ahead and pressed on your abdominals, they should feel super tight. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop to your feet. Come up. Nice and slow. Take your time. We're going to go in for that single leg touchdown again. We're going to start off with that right foot, stepping that left foot back. Feet are hip-width apart. If you have a mat, use your mat to help align you. Hips point forward, and we're going in for that hinge and that touchdown. Good. Really finding that stretch. This is the second time around, so you know what to do. Focus on finding that stretch through the back of that leg. You will remember me tomorrow when you try to sit down on the toilet. It's going to be hard to get up. Good. I laugh because it's part of the fun being a trainer, making you feel it a little bit. Good. And we switch sides, step in, step back. Remember, you can choose your range. You're not stepping too far back. Brace that core, hinge, touchdown. You're doing amazing. If you're building up a sweat, awesome. If you're not, no worries. The amount of sweat that you have doesn't equate to the amount of work you're doing. Work is work. Hinging through. Oftentimes we think we need to be in like a full-on sweat during a workout just so it's effective. Not true. Just do the best that you can today. Good. We're here for about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Onto your back, giving your legs a quick break. Good. Close that gap between your low back and the ground. Feet flexed, knees 90 degrees above your hips. Fingertips above your head, elbows in. And you're going to go in for that alternating extension. This is a dead bug variation. I love this for your core, to support your low back. There's 2 parts of your body that are almost always working when you're working out. That's your core and your lower back. That's where the stability in your movement comes from. So it's always important to train your core. Breathing through this. Again, your modification if your low back is lifting or if you feel a strain in your low back is to point 45 degrees or to drop your heel down to the ground. Make sure those elbows stay in. They're going to want to flop out. Good. We're here for 10 more seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up to seated. Catch your breath here. Grab a quick sip of water, and we're moving on to set 3. All right, final set of work today. We're going in for a single leg deadlift. I'm going to show you 2 variations. This requires a little bit of balance, so if your balance is not there today, don't worry about it. I'll let you touch down as you need. So you're going to brace your core. Choose one leg. We're going to start off with the right leg. Nice and planted. You're going to take your back leg, and it's actually going to rise up as you go down. Take your time here. We're not looking for speed. We're looking for control. So you're going to hinge at the hip. Your leg is going to come out, and you're coming down as low as you can go and coming back up. Touch the top, and then slowly going back. Good. And back up. We're really using the power in our legs here and working on our balance. If you find that you're flopping around too much, that's okay. I want you to lift that foot off the ground, and as soon as you feel like you're wobbling, tap that toe down and reach. Come back up. If you want a little bit more, drive that knee, and we go again. Good. Let that foot work. Good. Keeping your toes and your foot pressed into the ground, bracing your core, keep your hip pointed down. Again, if you want that modification, you're hinging, keeping your toe off the ground just slightly, and then tapping down as you need to, and coming back up. You can drive that knee if you want a little bit extra. I'll do one more here. That standing leg is working. It is firing up. One more for good measure. Ooh, balance. Tough one. Good, and we're going to switch to the other side. Notice, one side is going to be harder than the other. That's totally okay. And balance is a part of how we move. So now my left foot is firmly planted on the ground. Nice soft bend in my knee. Core nice and braced. That's where your balance comes from. You're going to start to tip. Good, soft bend in that knee to help support. Good, and then I'm coming back up and tapping down. Really fighting that movement. Loading that standing leg. Remember, your modification is to keep your toe close to the ground and then tap down when you need it, and you're really hinging. Any kind of deadlift always starts at your hip and you're going in for that hinge. If you want a little bit more, you're going to drive that knee up and just work through. Fighting it. One more. Hinging back. Good, driving up. One more. I know I said one more. We're doing one more. Good, and rest down. Can you tell me what the next move is? All right, you're gonna join me on the floor, and we're doing a straight leg sit-up. This is gonna seem harder, but it's not. I'm gonna show you how to do it so it's easy. Again, we're not doing quantity of movement, we're doing quality. So if you only do 10, I'll take it. If you only do 5, I'll take it, as long as you're doing it well. Feet outside of your mat. You're gonna lie down. Your hands are gonna start right above your shoulders. We're gonna come up into a straight leg sit-up. What you're gonna do to help you get up, because it's kind of like hard to get up in this position, I want you to picture like someone coming to pick you up. Like you're reaching for someone to pick you up here. So I want you to reach your fingertips up, touch the ceiling, sit nice and tall, and then cross over. Roll yourself back. You can use your arms, swing your arms up for a little bit of momentum. Touch that ceiling before you cross over. Rolling yourself back. If you let your arms go behind you and you swing up, that gives you a little bit of momentum. And you cross over. Lower yourself down. This one is really mind over matter. I have a lot of people who get stuck in this position. They're like, I can't do it, I can't do it. Yes, you can. Swing your arms up, drive up, and reach over. If you want a modification, you can actually keep your knees bent, reach up, and then cross over. Or extend your legs. Reach up and cross over. I really want you to exaggerate sitting tall. Reach, 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 sit nice and tall, and then cross over. Almost there. Reach, 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 reach. Cross over. Last one on this side. Reach, 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 reach. And cross over. We're going into our final set here of single leg Deadlifts, remember, choose your option. Right foot is planted, and we're gonna start to tip, lifting that back leg up and coming up. Hinging at the hip, making sure both hips are pointed down. You might feel like you want to open up in that position. Try not to do that. You want to actually drive both hips down. Your modification here is always to keep your toe close to the ground and touch down as you need it. Good. The higher you go, the harder it is. You choose where you are today. Good. 10 more seconds here. Breathing through this. Oops. Good. Catching your balance. That fight, that struggle, it's all good. Good. Switch sides. Plant your left foot. Square off your hips. You're hinging. Good. Coming up. Awesome job, everyone. We're almost there. Home stretch. We have about a minute of work left before we go into that stretch and that cool down. Work to your finish. Good. Nice job. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. On your back. Final 40 seconds of work. You've got this. We know what's coming. Feet nice and wide. Arms can start overhead. Reach up, touch the ceiling, cross over. Roll yourself back. Reach up, touch the ceiling, cross over. Reach up, touch the ceiling, cross over. Nice job. Up, touch the ceiling, and roll back. Take your time here if you need it. Remember, it's all about the quality of the movement, not the quantity. This is your workout. You do what you can today. Driving up. Good. Last 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to stretch you out now. You can lie on your back. That was amazing. Lying on your back, extend your arms out to your sides. You're going to take your right leg. You're going to drop it down. Left knee bent. Take your right hand and cross this over. Ooh, this feels so good. This helps release your low back. Any tension you're holding back there, this helps release it. This is a great stretch anytime you have any low back strain. Breathing through. Good one to the other side. Extend your left leg. Bend your right knee. Take your left hand and cross over to the other side. I get nice hip pops in my hip when I do this. It feels amazing. If that grosses you out, I am sorry. It just feels really, really good. Good. You are doing incredible. This is where you get to show gratitude and thankfulness for being able to move today. Not many people have the opportunity, but you are blessed to be able to do it. We're going to go in for a hamstring stretch because we worked it quite a bit today. Extend your left leg forward, hinging back, and holding this stretch here, feeling the stretch in the back of your leg. Breathing through. Good. Really let your heart rate lower. Good. Switching sides, hinging back, and just breathing through this movement. If you can't touch the ground here, that's okay. Hands on your hips and hinge back. If you have yoga blocks, you can get them to help with your balance. Or just let your fingertips touch the ground. Amazing. We're going to go in for a glute stretch. You're going to have a seat. You're going to take your left ankle over your right knee. Actually extend that leg. You're going to bend that right leg here and then slide a little bit forward, and that gets you a nice stretch in your left glute. So if you missed that, right leg extended, left ankle over right knee, and then lift that right leg up and slide forward. Again, you decide how deep the stretch is. The closer you bring your bum to your heel, the deeper the stretch. Good. Other side, extending your left leg. Bring your right ankle over your left knee, then bend your left leg up and hinge forward or slide forward. I got the word hinge stuck in my head now. Going into that stretch. One final stretch here. Come up to your knees. Lace your fingertips behind your back. You're gonna stand nice and tall. Really open up your chest, leaning back almost into a camel pose. If you wanna come down to the full camel, you can, but you can stay here if you'd like. And that was your workout for today. I hope you enjoyed it. You're welcome to join me in the forum to ask any questions and leave any comments. And always remember, this is your village. You deserve to be well.